Okay, here we go. Let me see if I can take this. I don't even know where I don't even know where to start. I really don't. I mean, I do this because I love you, because you need me. You need me. Oh no, I'm sorry. You need me. God knows you need me. I can tell. There's a very confused state. And I can see this from you. You don't know what the hell's going on here. You don't know. You don't know what to believe. I've seen it. I've read your stuff. It's incredible. I've seen your just your sense of, and you want to be a part of everything. You want to be a part of this, but you're confused. You're confused. You don't know what's going on. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I was watching today a series of some of the best. Oh, I got to tell you this before I forget. As you know, I think right now, and this could change tomorrow. My tastes come and they go and they change. I think right now one of the best YouTube shows is Lex Friedman. Just by virtue of the people he has. I mean, he has some of the most brilliant people. So I'm looking at, and all of a sudden popping out of nowhere on his YouTube Freed is a pun there. Lex Friedman says, I'm lucky to have gotten the chance to attend Game 3 of Heat versus Celtics in Miami last night, and to hang out and have great conversations with Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. This was my first time at a live basketball game. Energy was wild. Thank you for an amazing experience. Okay, good. You're being nice. He looks like he's not exactly effusive. To have a hangout with Ivanka Trump. Listen, God bless you. God bless everybody. God bless everybody. Okay? God bless everybody. But I got to tell you something right now. The only way that Trump has a chance of taking the White House back is if he promises Jared and Ivanka are nowhere near. I'm sorry. They're probably great people. I've never trusted that guy. That is one of the slimiest, slithery. I don't trust anything. She was there just for the, hey. Here I am in Daily Mail. Hey, rocking it in my wife. Look at those abs. Hey. That's me. Hey. Not that it would ever happen. But if you ever see me do this, well, obviously, put me in a home. If I'm saying, Mom, what are you doing? I'm rocking it. No, stop. What are you doing? I'm walking around in my, what? Did you pay these people to come? Yeah, you did, didn't you? I'm the kids now. You did. You paid those Daily Mail people. Why are they there? Why are they there? Well, you're not rocking out. What are you doing? You're in Miami on a dock. What is going on here? No, I'm just rocking. No, I'm just, we're on the beach. Hey, I'm playing tennis. Hey. Oh, for the love of God. Remember those pictures of Tucker laughing like he won the lottery on some little bimini chair thing with his wife in Florida, I guess. Hey, look at me. I'm having it. Hey. You're kidding. Do me a favor. It's okay to sit there and say, well, I'm rocking out in my Gap polo shirt that I've had for 50 years. I'm rocking it out. I'm rocking out. Hey, look at me. I'm at my favorite Dollar Tree store buying a new globe. Hey, it's me. At the Whole Foods buying flaxseed. Hey, rocking it. Living the life. Yeah, going to the car wash, seeing my boys, hanging out at the car wash with the Yugo to stretch. Hey. You know you want me, don't you? You know you want me. Yeah, you do. Look at me. Am I hot or what? I'm so hot. Oh, those cameras? I don't know where they came from. Yes, I realize they need special permission to enter this. Well, okay. Maybe I left the gate open. Okay, maybe I left them the code. Okay, maybe I paid them. It doesn't. Does it matter? Hey, I'm rocking it. Here's Martha Stewart. She's rocking it on the cover of What Are You Doing? What is happening? Madame Curie. Can you imagine if, like, here's Einstein. Remember those pictures of Einstein wearing the woman's sandals? Remember that one? You can find it. I think he's talking to Szilard or somebody. He at least had fun. The world is falling apart. Everything is collapsing. And these people are walking around with this. I don't know. I just got a venom. It just kills me. It just kills me. I just did a piece on the latest story regarding Mr. Bill Gates, who may have been extorted by a deceased person. And I got to tell you something. Everybody on TV and cable and whatever should have their credentials, if they have any, revoked because they repeated this stupid story, including one. I'm not going to mention names, but I'm just going to talk about them. These two people think they are God's gift to the intelligentsia, the cognoscenti, the news, the new breed of young, so stupid, believe this ridiculous story in a world where people are into true crime. Hey, have you heard any of the true crime stuff? Have you heard any of it? Spotify has them. I heard them. There's two girls, might be the same one. They all sound alike. And they take nothing and they stretch it out. So he went to the cottage. Well, they called it a cottage, and the door was unlocked. What? Yeah, it wasn't partially locked. It wasn't. It was unlocked, as in not locked, as in open. What? No, it was okay. It was open. They just stretch everything. I want to get right down to it. Let's go in. Let's go. No, we're not going to go. We're going to stretch this because we're like 12-year-old girls, and we're speaking in this valley speak idiocy, this bubble-headed lunacy, because this is true crime. Well, I got a true crime. You want to talk about this certain person who was found deceased in a certain place? Would you like to go over some pathology? Can I explain something to you? You want to do that? No. It's just true crime. Well, would you like to make the case? Come on. I'll show you how to try a case. Here's a medical examiner. Bring him in. You want to talk about this? No. But you like, all this cold case stuff. Well, there was this guy, and they suspected him like 40 years ago. But they couldn't prove it because they didn't have DNA. So this detective was real good and he was a real tough guy. And he always knew there was something wrong with this. So they had a run, and they found out that the DNA from this sample, they did this forensic genealogy, and it could have belonged to this guy. But they needed some sample. So they waited until he discarded a cigarette butt or a soda can, and they got. I know how this goes. Every time these two little girls act like it's the first time anybody's. And you know what? It's called DNA. Deoxyribonucleic. All right. Would you like to talk about this case? Here's a good one for you. This fellow that they found in MCC. No, you don't care about that. Nobody interested in that one? No. Okay. Oh, the fix is in. Oh, for God's sakes. Then this moron, this jadrul, I'm not going to mention his name, he writes He basically is a music critic. That's what I think of music critics. I don't need your music. No, what, you understand music better than I do? Is that it? Oh, you're going to explain Led Zeppelin to me. Oh, I don't understand Led Zeppelin. Is that it? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Oh, because you're so smart. Oh, you understand Led Zeppelin, but I don't understand Led Zeppelin. Oh, okay, I get it. All right. Because you're so smart. Okay. He basically he wrote something today that said, I don't know what the big deal about AI is because it's in your phone. And I wanted to jump out the window. I'm saying I'm living. This man is comparing. He's looking at LLM and AI and AGI and alignment, and you've got Eliezer Yudkowsky ready to himself jump out a window. He's so freaked out. You've got the greatest minds ever who can't even explain this. And you've got this music critic who said, I don't know what the big deal is. It's in a phone. Thank you. Sometimes I think that I'm just losing my mind. I don't believe here. I don't believe here. I don't believe here. I don't live here. I don't belong here. That's what I'm trying to say. Somebody said, and CBS Sunday Morning. Oh God. Have you ever seen? You ever watched it? CBS. Unbelievable. You ever watch this? They just repeat the same thing. There's this one in particular. You haven't lived until Mo Rocca laughs. That is worth the price of admission. CBS Morning News. No, CBS Sunday. Excuse me. I gotta share you this. There's one. Just one. CBS Sunday Morning. What are their names? Hosts, I guess. What is she? Tracy Smith. Tracy Smith, the best. The best. You know why? Remember this. If you don't know what to say, and you're at a party, and you're saying, look what they stuck me with, just do Tracy Smith. Well, I'm a little bit late. What happened? Well, I don't know. I left my key. I couldn't find my keys. You couldn't find your keys. Yeah, right. I couldn't find my keys. Anyway, so I'm a little late, and the next thing you know, it's so funny. There's not even a key. It's really a fob. So you know what happened? My wife had it the whole time. Your wife had it the whole time. Are you going to do this the whole night? Am I going to do? Who is this? Who is this person? This is Tracy. Watch what they do. Was it Martha Teicher? She's the worst. Is that her name? I don't want to get their names wrong. I never learned their names. Rita, no. Yeah, the other, whatever their names are, I don't know. But it is a technique. Once you're aware of it, and by the way, they do some good stories. They do some decent stories. But it's just the most horrific thing you've ever seen. So anyway, then I'm spending some time trying to get the latest on AI, AGI. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. This morning, I hope you subscribe to my regular channel where I can speak like an adult. I don't have to censor anything. You can say whatever you want. You gotta be careful here. Be careful. No. Be careful. Don't say it. Don't watch out what you said. But here was, and I said this was one of the best things ever. Oh, here we go. Do yourself a favor and find this one on Substack. It's called A Tattoo Tale. I think I mentioned it this morning. Called How the Tattoo Fad and the Internet Revolution Have Conditioned People to Accept AI Entering Their Bodies and Minds in a way similar to demon possession. It's an alien life form. Her name is Karen Hunt, a.k.a. K.H. Mizek. And it is the most wonderful piece of writing. And it is what I have been saying for the longest time, that there is a reason, there is something about tattoos. May I ask, you don't have to ask, who has a series of tattoos? And I'm curious, how long? When I say SERIES, that name thing keeps coming up, that bubble, that weird thing. That. May I ask why you have it? You just tattoo? I'm very serious. What was, and especially if I could, and you don't have to do this, and I will not mock you. I will not mock you derisively. But why is it that you found the need to mar your body? And I'm not talking about a couple. I mean the whole thing. What made you say this? Sean says, I have none. Very good. Sparky, look at Sparky. Sparky says, that man's, can't say his name, but that man, his CPAP machine was in his cell. Why would he dispatch himself with a paper shirt when he had a CPAP power cord? CPAP was in post. Is it? Yes. Very good, Sparky. You see, I want you on my team. And you got to be very careful here. Because as you probably know, for some reasons, I will never understand what can be said and what can't. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But you see, that is what I want you to know. That is what I want you to be, my detective. I want you to ask questions like this. I want you to ask. Someone says, my gay sister has a tattoo. I'll ask her. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but that's interesting. That's interesting. I just want to know what all of a sudden it's like, what are you doing? What happened? Well, I don't know. The more tattoos I have, the cooler I am. Okay. My one tribute to Frank Zappa when he died in 1993, but I wish I didn't have it at 55 now. Well, listen. I'm not talking to you. You have one tattoo. That's not it. Wait till we have biomedical. Did I tell you the other one too? Did I tell you this woman? Are you following her on? Zeph. Look at the picture of Lex with. I mean, Ivanka, I'm sure, is a fine person, but what you're talking to Yudkowsky and Ray Kurzweil about, AI singularity, and then I don't know. Listen. Her name is Xi Van Fleet. Write this. X, like Xi Jinping. X Van Fleet. Wonderful. Chinese by birth, American by choice, survivor of Mao's Cultural Revolution, defender of liberty. God bless her. X Van Fleet. Follow her. I was just, ready for this? She said that a friend of hers in China pulled over. I said this morning. I went over this. Oops. Gotta make sure I didn't. Check 1, 2. Oh, good. Wow. I hit the mic and it didn't go off. A friend of hers was pulled over at a gas station in China. And I don't know how this happened, but she went to the relieved herself, and they did a urinalysis on her. And she had to scan her face just to get gas. What's that going to be for? Carbon footprint. Yes. Wait till do you think you're going to be able to fly anywhere in the future? She talks about that. No. Look what I've done to you. I threw out this thing about Lex Friedman. A little bit about tattoos. A little bit about this. A little bit about. I'm throwing stuff at you. Of course, AGI. I know it's tough for you. It's tough for you. It's one of those things where I want to find a place, a big field I can go out every day and just scream and just really yell. Let it out. Because I am telling you, listen to what I'm telling you. The world right now that we know is so, it's like I'm in an asylum and I'm going up to this person, I'm saying, what are you doing? Who is this? This person's in a fashion show. This one is doing a story about a certain ex-prisoner who seems to have been dispatched, and nobody has the guts to say, I don't think that makes sense. And then I have to turn to this wonderful Chinese expat to find out how great my country is here. It just goes on and on forever. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I do not understand. I just don't know. And what happens later on? Let me ask you something. You do know that, how do we say this? You do know that everything is continuing into one colossal horror show. Do you understand this? You do know. You do recognize that at some point we're going to hit something that is going to blow your mind. That everything now has been a precursor, has been a beta test. You do know that, right? Every single thing up until now. Everything has been leading up to this. Everything. Everything. There are, I don't know how many different enemy forces coming at us from different directions, and it's something that is beyond anything I can put into mere words. I mean that. This is the most incredible thing. It's unbelievable. Pick the area. Civil liberties, war, individual civil rights. Did you read Justice Gorsuch's dissent? Did you read his dissent in the Mayorkas case? He writes it out. He basically he writes out the future of how the courts are going to be using executive orders to subvert the law. The court. Now think about this. The irony. The court is going to use the court to subvert the law. The court is where you go to have the law protected and defended. The court. And I want you to understand this. And I hope you realize this. You will tolerate anything. You will tolerate and think anything. You have not had to put your liberty on hold. You have been told, if you find yourself in the position where your attempts at protesting gets a little bit, you will find yourself at the basement of some DC gulag, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. And everybody on TV, everybody has to always say, now wait a minute. Now I don't like, that particular date. We're not going to mention it, but that date, first part of the year, was just the worst thing. Really? That was worse than Kent State? Well, for me it was. Why? Well, I have to say that. Because you always have to say that as part of this introductory. You must feel the Sturm und Drang of this event. You must do that. You must say, and I'm just saying, it's a terrible thing. It was the worst day of my life. That was the worst day? No, I just have to say that. Have you noticed this one? Have you noticed all the stories that say, I know what got Tucker fired. Are you still talking about Tucker? You better believe it. Why? Because he's my boyfriend, and I love Tucker. It's just a stupid show. Well, maybe a stupid show to you. But he's all I've got. And I love him. He's like my professional wrestler. You know it's a work. You better believe it's a work, and that's all right with me. I don't care. But here's why I think. It was that Ray Epstein, right? Who cares? Doesn't matter if more care to you. Cares a lot to me. That's what I think. That's what I think. Oh my God. And here is the best thing. And I'm telling you, and I know I'm getting nowhere. I know it. And I'm not gonna waste a lot of your time. I know, believe me. You're gonna say, he's gonna talk about the AI thing again. Yep. Nobody knows anything. It's still not even. All of the information is there. And Lex Friedman, despite that picture with Ivanka, I'm so glad to be here with. He's a barrel of laughs, Lex. You got to understand that. The man's a wild man. He's like Rip Taylor, of his own black tie, but anyway. This is something that for the first time has the potential of getting out of control and taking things over, and you're not able to stop it. Does that make any sense? Does that make do you understand what I just said? Let me read some of your things. Let me try this again. Do you understand that what I just told you, that right now, and it can happen now, an hour from now, a week from now, a year, I don't know. You ready for this? Do you understand that up until now we've been able to lock into computer like it was kind of like analog at first, abacus, and then it was digital, and now we're on our way to. I mean, this is the greatest quantum computing, and that's great. And then right behind that, there's this thing. Nobody really knows exactly where it started from, but it's going to be released. And imagine if I said, here's what I'm going to do. I've created something. And the last time I did this was when do you know that when they were going to detonate the atom bomb for the first time, they didn't know if it would start a chain reaction, whether it would cleave hydrogen electrons in the last valence, or whether some huge chain reaction. They had no idea. But they had to, because somebody was going to do it. And they said, please. Because, Oppenheimer said supposedly, I am become the man. Oh, stop it. That's not what you said. He said for the first time, holy. That is what this is. That is the, let's see how this works. Let's just release it and then see if we can call it back if it gets out of control. Okay. Hey, what happened to the internet? I don't know. Somebody kind of hacked it. What? Somebody hacked the internet. Who hacked it? I don't know. Wait a minute. Could it be that? No. Could it be AI, that AI thing? Yeah. Which one? It's not just one. Huh. Okay. Well, and what if, let me ask you something. What do you think is going to happen when somebody says, okay, let's deliberately use it negatively? What do you think is going to happen if China, and when China gets a hold of it, if it hasn't already happened so far? What do you think is going to happen? Forget everything else. What do you think is going to happen when everybody says, okay, and when Putin says, I've had it? That's one thing I don't want. I don't want the I've had it. They're talking about F-16s. Was this fourth generation F-16? Who's going to fly these? I know people don't care. I don't want to be around for the, okay, that's it. That's it. Have you ever been or seen somebody in a relationship or in a situation where they put up with it, and then one day something happens and you don't know exactly what it is. You don't know what it was that caused it. You don't know what it was that precipitated it, but you just walk out the door. You end a marriage, you end a friendship, you quit a job, you hit somebody, you slug them, you do whatever. You just get to that point. Have you ever seen that? Has that ever happened to you where you say, I got to do something? And I've had it with that neighbor, with this. Okay. If Putin does that, I don't want to be around for that. That's one thing. And people are just going, they're just doing it. Okay, you know that's happening, right? You know that's. Get ready. Just be prepared. Then you have these other people who say, let's go ahead and just release this thing. What? This AI thing. Okay, it's out. Hope it's okay. Hope it finds a good home. Where is it? I don't know. I'm not sure. Sparky says the guy next to Oppenheimer said, what Oppenheimer actually said was, wow, it worked. Well, yes, I don't think, Sparky, that he recounted Vishnu. Remember this? I am become. It's a very interesting thing. Vishnu. I am become death. The maker of I am become death. See how easy it is? This is, I remember the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him, takes on his multi-armed form and says, now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. I suppose all thought that one way or another. Oppenheimer. Did you ever see Oppenheimer? Did you ever see how bad he looked at the end? He looked pretty bad. You know how old he was? Robert Oppenheimer, when he finally kicked? 62. He looked 100. He was smoking, I don't know how many cigarettes a day. He was 62 years old. Get ready for this. Get ready. Let me ask you this, because you're smart, and I love you, like your family. You're my family. I appreciate that. What do you think is going to happen next? Do you, in this, remember a while back I said, hey, why don't we go ahead and have separate, bathrooms. I want unisex bathrooms. Remember that? We said, unisex bathrooms? What's that all about? Yeah. These people want to have, men want to go into, well, that's crazy. Huh. Remember that? Remember that? How did it go from that to Leah Thomas? How did it go from that to puberty blockers? How did it go from that to where we are now to, what is this? Where is it going next? Where is critical legal studies going next? Where is restorative justice next? I'm going to say something to you. And you're going to laugh, and I'm going to tell you something. Remember I said this, and bet on it. One day, in some city, some place, some state, there will be a proposal made that you are granted immunity from, let's say, criminal misdemeanors. We'll make it easy, not murder, but just criminal misdemeanors if you're African American or you're of a particular demographic. Mark my words. Liability, immunity, criminal liability if you are, it's like reparations pushed. Think I'm kidding? Who thinks I'm kidding? Who thinks I'm kidding? Push for it right now. Ben Crump George Floyd's lawyer, who couldn't lure me out of a burning building, who has the persuasive power to me of a styrofoam cup. But nonetheless, Ben Crump said regarding this woman in New York, I think she was a nurse or something, who got into a fight over one of these city bikes with somebody who happened to be a black man. And I don't think there was anything said, if I'm wrong, I stand corrected, but I didn't think there was anything said that was in any way racial. They were going to sue. What? Because any argument with a black man from a white woman is presumptively racist. You think I'm kidding? Do you think I'm kidding? Do you think what I'm saying is preposterous? It's okay if you do. We're family. Sparky says, Starfish Prime nuclear explosion from early 60s was amazingly risky. It inadvertently knocked out Britain's first satellite as well as AT&T's Telstar. Well, how do you like that? By the way, Sparky, I'm so sorry. I am so absolutely remiss. Okay. In not doing that. Thank you. Here our good friend Sean brings up stuff for no particular reason. Maps minor attracted persons. I want to say something about that. I'm going to change subject, and I want you to understand something. And I'm glad you brought this up in a weird way, because I try this every now and then, and I waste my time. Because people say, what? Okay. But I'm going to say it. Now work with me on this, okay? Listen to what I'm saying. Work with me on this one. Please, I beg you, work with me on this one. Please, for the love of God, I beg you, work with me. Okay. If you are attracted to mannequins, if you are attracted to soap on a rope, wearing Wellingtons and a codpiece with pince nez, an Ike jacket, a riding crop, and you're like squatting over a cactus. Or you like thinking about that. That is completely and totally legal. If you go to petting zoos and have sick thoughts, if you think about people, demographics, and you don't act upon it, you never act upon it, and with people who are unable to consent, somebody might consent, may say this is great. I've got some my jodhpurs and my Wellingtons in the back of the truck. What do you say, huh? What do you say? Okay. But that's completely fine. That is a thought. That is a thought. That's all. And it may bother people. They go, wait a minute. I say, no. That is a thought. Do you hear what I'm saying? That is just a thought. There are people who say, well, I'm attracted to this, and I'm attracted to that, and I'm attracted to this. And I just want you to understand something. As despicable and weird and strange as you may think it is, it makes no difference to me if it is a thought. Period. Years ago, there was something. This is a very important case. And you look it up. Look what I'm doing right now. Look at this online. And it was Ashcroft versus Free Speech. Ashcroft against Free Speech Coalition. 2002. Supreme Court struck down two overbroad provisions of the Child Pornography Prevention Act because they abridged freedom to engage in a substantial amount of lawful speech. It dealt with people who, things that appeared to be, but didn't. So, make a long story short, at the time I was saying this, I, of course, like a fool, thought, well, I'm going to try to explain my position to people. And people went crazy. I said, if I take something, if I say, okay, can I do this? No, you can't. Right, because that's an act and this is illegal. Got it. Okay. Can I take a picture of that? Well, it depends. It depends. Sparky says Oppenheimer and Groves were great if unusual team. Yes, I think they were quite the odd couple, and I don't know how much if they helped him later because they always thought that Oppenheimer was a commie based on his wife. And that's for you, Sparky. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, can I take a picture of that? Well, it depends. If it's involving children, no. Well, let me ask you a question. Can I take a picture of people robbing a bank? Well, that's against the law, right? Well, yeah, it's against the law. Can I take a picture of people robbing a bank? Did you ever see the movie Man Eats Dog? Very good. It's French, I think it was. It was funny about the serial killer and the... All right. Well, what if somebody says, listen, I'm going to rob a bank. If you're at the Chase, at the corner of 50, whatever it is, be there at 1 o'clock. I don't want you to be a part of this, but I want you to, just to let you know, because I know you're in the documentaries, I'm going to be there robbing the bank. So if you want to take pictures of this, go ahead. I'm going to be there. All right? And sure enough, I'm there, and here he comes, and I take a picture. Can I take a picture of that? Can I sell it? I wasn't a part of it. Now, aid, abet, counsel, procure, hire, encourage might be a bit of an accomplice part, but I don't think so. Can I do that? Well, I can take pictures of some things, right, but not others. Now, can you tell me what I can? Well, obviously, CSAM, we understand why that is. That makes complete sense because the act is not the actual recordation. Child sexual abuse material is not necessarily the act itself, but it's also the recordation, the memorialization, and also the fact that it's used again and prosecuting them dissuades people from doing it again. It's been talked about a million times. It doesn't even fall under the rubric of the analysis of the First Amendment. Completely different. But let me ask you a question, okay? Here's one for you. Now listen to this. Follow me on this one. Remember that show? Did you ever see that show? What's it with that show? Not Captured, but it was that Gotcha show with Chris. What's his name? He says, "Have a seat, Predator, to catch a predator." Chris, what's his face? What's his name? Chris Hansen. He had his own problems. Remember that one? Hello, come on in. Okay. By the way, Key and Peele or Color Purple did a version of that is so good. It's brilliant. Guy shows up. He's got a 6-pack of, Boone's Farm and a gross of condoms. And here we go. I'll be out in a minute. Okay. And here comes Chris Hansen. Have a seat. I have a seat. Oh, okay. So, what are you doing? Oh, I don't know. Passing by. Passing by, huh? Any reason why you're here? Yes. Are you Blue Steel 69? Yeah. Uh-huh. And did you write, "Here I come, baby"? Yep. I'm on my way. Yep. Did you know you were talking to a 12-year-old? Well, let me rephrase it. Did you know you were thinking you were talking to a 12... Wait a minute. What was that again? You were thinking you were talking to a 12-year-old. There's no 12-year-old here? No. Never was. Never was. But you're under arrest because you thought you were talking to a 12-year-old. Now, do you see any problem with that at all? Am I the only one? And I think these people are despicable. And anybody who does it, he's done it before. And I don't mind if you take them off the street. I don't mind if you do a lot of other stuff to them, but I don't want to get into it because remember where we are. Okay? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You see any problem with that? Anybody? So, you mean there's no 12-year-old? None. Because I thought there was 12, because you thought it. And what you did was disgusting. Yes. Yes. Just a second. Sparky says Oppenheimer only attended community meetings to get to meet people, like many who changed the course of science, such as Einstein, Oppenheimer was a player. Well, there you go. Now listen, as are you, Sparky, in your own way. And thank you, by the way. Very kind. I think Sparky sets a good example, don't you? Because you know why? He loves me, and he should. Anyway, now let me ask you a question. Let's assume somebody's walking down the street, and they're blind and they're drunk. They're blind drunk, but he's blind. He can't see. And he's armed. And he's walking down the street, going home, feeling his way home, and all of a sudden he thinks somebody's in front of him, but they're not. It's the wind or something. And he pulls a gun and he goes, "Give me your money. Give me your money. All of it. And your watch, too. And you got jewelry. Don't make a move or I'll blast you. Now give me your money. Give me your wallet." There's nobody there. Cop pulls up, sees this guy standing there. He's got a cane and a gun, and he's talking to somebody. And the cop gets out. He says, "All right, you're under arrest." "What are you doing?" "I'm robbing this person." "Sir, there's nobody there." "Well, I thought there was." Are they going to charge him with robbery? I'm serious. Are they going to, because he thought he was robbing somebody? Are they going to, wait a minute, what? No. Well, why not? He thought he was. It's a thought crime. What's wrong with that? What's the difference? Oh, that's crazy. Why is that crazy? You tell me why that's crazy. I don't understand it. What happens? Lionel and I are big Gordon Soley fans. Sparky, I can tell you, or could tell you, so many stories about Gordon, his wife Smokey. Her name was Eileen, but she was an accomplished sculptress. She made me a beautiful pot called Ethereal Ochre, which sadly was broken. One day I'm not going to say it now, but I could tell you some of the best stories, the best traveling and flying and just wonderful stories. Thank you. So, back to where I was. See, I got this problem with people being charged with thinking stuff. It bothers me. Hate crimes, because you thought, well, I hit him, but I was thinking I'm hitting him, and I don't like him because he's foreign or he's, his religion. So as I'm hitting him, what I'm thinking elevates and aggravates the crime. So let me explain something, and I want you to understand something. Don't think for a moment that I think anybody is going to listen to anything I'm saying, because they're not. I recognize that. I believe so much that there's going to be things taken from me. They're going to do, but I don't want my Constitution taken away. I don't want my freedoms taken away. I don't want my freedom of speech. And that means sometimes defending and sticking by people who were really despicable. Really despicable. But it's the idea of speech. And they're going after our thoughts. And they're finding ways. And if you believe in the First Amendment, sometimes you got to say, wait a minute, this guy is a horrible, horrible person. But what he did was an expression of a thought. And thoughts will never get you arrested. Conspiracies will. I did a video on that. Conspiracies, criminal confederation, planning to do something is one thing, but just thinking something is not. Okay? Does that make sense to you? Does that make any sense? Okay. Have you gone to Mrs. L's YouTube channel? Lynn's Warriors? Have you done that yet? Have you done that? I told you to do that. You got to go to Lynn's Warriors. Lynn's Warriors. You know what? Hang on a minute. I'll make it easy for you. Right here. Look at this. You just click this thing right here. And this is hers right there. There you go. Click it. Just click that, baby, and subscribe, because some of the stuff is so terrific. And also follow her on Twitter at Lynn's Warriors as well. All right? Okay. Someone writes entrapment. May I just tell you something about entrapment, please? May I tell you something, please? May I tell you something about entrapment? And this is something which I think is important for you to understand. Entrapment does not mean, thank you, James. Thank you. Just subscribed. Very good. Thank you. Entrapment means not that I caught you. Entrapment means that I made you do something in such a way that I overcame. You had no predisposition to do it. Come on, do it. Come on, let's get that a kilo of Coke. Come on, it's easy. It's easy. Hey, come on. I don't want to. No, come on, seriously. The best entrapment ever was what they did to John DeLorean. An entrapment, according to the Department of DOJ, is a complete defense to a criminal charge. And when you claim entrapment, you're saying, oh, I did it. I did it. Just like the insanity defense. Oh, I did it. But here's why. But the theory is that the government agents may not originate a criminal design, implant an innocent person's mind a disposition to commit a criminal act, and then induce the commission of the crime so that the government may prosecute. That's entrapment. Now, the question you're going to ask is simply this. What about a guy standing on the corner? What about a guy standing on the corner? And this girl comes up, and she looks like a hooker. And he says, hey, how much? Is that entrapment? No. What if she comes up to him and says, hey, big boy, want to give it a go? Gitchy, yeah. Remember that one? Anyway. Hello, Joe. Want to give it a go? Remember? All right. What if she asks him, so, want a date? That's a big line. You know, a date? Remind me to tell you the story about this old man one time. Date? Yeah, okay. Is that entrapment? Nope. No. Just to say, hey, you want to buy some? Okay, fine. Come on. First one's free. I'll do it. Come on. That's entrapment. That's the idea. Not merely catching somebody. That's a different story. You understand this? Think about that. All right, dear friends. Thank you, Sparky. Listen, you have a great and a glorious day. Remember, we'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m., same bad time, same bad channel as usual. Until then, remember this. Remember this. It's very, very important that you understand and you grasp this. Remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.